Now it's time for India Today exclusive managing editor of India Today TV network, Rahul Kanwal, joining us for an exclusive conversation with MOS home Kiren Rijiju. It's over to you, Rahul.
One of the big questions that's been asked over the past 72 hours is why are senior ministers in the Modi government jumping into and attacking a young girl who has voiced her opinion? And that charge has been leveled specifically against Minister of State for Home Affairs Kiren Rijiju. Joining us now to talk about the entire controversy around nationalism and these Azadi slogans on campus is Kiren Rijiju himself. Minister, welcome to India Today. I want to start by asking you about the most specific instance where you put out a tweet saying, who's polluting this young girl's mind? That's the first question you asked. Now, Minister, if a young 20-year-old girl from the Lady Shri Ram College voices an opinion, why would you ask who's polluting this young girl's mind? Can it not just be her opinion that she's putting in the public domain, sir?
First of all, any student, whether it's a 20 years old student or anybody, if they speak up their mind, let them speak. There's no issue in this country. Why should anybody have any objection to anybody making his or her mind in the public domain? That's perfectly all right. We have no issue, and moreover, we are focused on governance, and we have no interest in the campus politics, or we have no interest in anybody's freedom of expression. Let them do whatever they want. Why? I don't know. People are making it as such a big issue.
Minister, your comments during this live interview are at variance with what you said on social media, where you yourself asked who's polluting this young girl's mind. If it's not a big issue, A, why did you comment on it? Was that ill-advised? And B, when you suggest that someone seems to be polluting her mind, what specifically did you have in mind, Minister?
That I'm not talking about the girl. I'm talking about the leftists who are playing politics with the young girls, posting something in social media or trying to create some problem in the campus. I'm speaking to the leftists. Maybe I should have named it. I did not name it, I just referred it who is polluting the minds of the young students. I'm directly referring to this far leftist group, nobody else. There is not even the Congress. I don't want to comment against the Congress or any party. This issue was specifically created by the far leftists who wanted to influence their ideology in the campuses across the country. Well, they have the right to do whatever they want to, but our only point is that don't make any slogans or any such words which are anti-national in its nature. That's all. If you say
Minister,
that,
because I want to use this opportunity to talk about the larger issue as well. You're saying that there are these Azadi slogans which are being chanted, that's sedition or that's an anti-national activity. Now the Supreme Court definition of sedition is incitement to arms. Your action or anybody's action should be such that it leads to people picking up arms against the state, violence against India. Only that is sedition. Merely chanting for Azadi is not sedition. This is the ruling of the Supreme Court, and the question that's being asked is an attempt being made to change the definition of sedition?
even in the people in media like you, who are well read, who are well informed, when you pick up a case, you should pick up the case in entirety. In one case, Supreme Court says that merely speaking against the nation is not amounting to sedition. It must be backed by action, or you must be able to incite violence in action. Then only sedition charge can be framed. In one of the another case, merely speaking against Jawaharlal Nehru government, not nation, speaking against the government was confirmed as sedition. So you must be very clear that sedition law is not very well defined in our act. So I have stated in the parliament also that there must be much more clear definition of the provisions in the sedition definition. So I think we will not comment on the interpretation made by the courts, but having said that, it is better if there are better definition for the
Okay,
provisions
as
to
Minister of
be
State for
charged
Home,
or to be
Kiren
framed
Rijiju,
in the
let me
ambit
ask you
of,
this question.
the
What do you
sedition.
think is an ideal contemporary definition for sedition? Do you believe that chants of Kashmir Mange Azadi, Bastar Mange Azadi constitute sedition? Do you think that these chants are an anti-national activity for which people should be booked for sedition?
You are living in India, you are well experienced. People from Afghanistan, people from Pakistan, people from Myanmar, people from Nepal, people from Sri Lanka, people from Tibet, they have faced many problems in their respective countries, especially the minorities there. They have come to India. For what? Because they feel that India is a safe country. In India, everybody is free to speak against the government. Every day, people abuse the Prime Minister also. But nobody has booked them. You can speak against the government because this is the essence of democracy. You must debate, you must discuss, you must dissent. This is the beauty of democracy. But before 1947, if you say that we want freedom, we can understand. Today, what freedom you are talking about? Sitting in the territory of India, you are enjoying the freedom of abusing your country day in, day out. Then you still say you need freedom. Freedom for what? Tell me first. Freedom from which, definition? You tell me. You have to specifically mention that why do you need freedom from India? You tell me any other country which is more freer than India.
No, Kanhaiya Kumar was on our show yesterday, Minister. He said that when we are saying Bastar Mange Azadi, Kashmir Mange Azadi, we are asking for Azadi from oppression, from problems that the state faces, from problems that the state foists on people. They're saying those are the kind of freedoms we are asking for.
Don't make mockery of the Indian Constitution. Don't make mockery of the Indian Constitution. There is absolute freedom. There is absolute freedom. In the Congress time, if you write something against the Prime Minister, if you defame the Prime Minister, people are questioned. Even in last UPA tenure, some people wrote something against Sonia Gandhi. Facebook people were questioned by the government. They were summoned. Have we done anything in last 2 years and 8 months? Anybody spoke against the Prime Minister or the government? Has there been any action? What freedom you are talking about? You are free to do anything in this country. Tell me any other country who has a better freedom than what is provided by Indian Constitution. Tell me.
Minister, countries, Western countries,
Western
countries
are... No, listen to me. No, yes. No, listen to me. No, listen to me. No, don't listen. Don't disturb me. Listen to me. In India, I'm talking about the Indian territory. Within Indian territory, is there any case where people are not allowed to express their freedom? Tell me. Is there any instance? Tell me. If the people are not able to speak out, and if there's a state terror, tell me one instance. This is a free country. Everybody has absolute freedom.
But Minister, I can counter argue by saying
talking about
countries in the Western Hemisphere are doing away with sedition laws completely. They're saying that the idea of a nation, the idea of India, cannot be such a weak idea that it is imperiled by a few people chanting slogans. If there is an incitement to arms, of course, the Supreme Court judgment you cite is the previous Supreme Court judgment. The way law and jurisprudence works is that the most recent instance is the instance which is the law. That's the one which is precedent. You look at the most recent ruling. The most recent ruling says that there must be a call to arms. Nations globally are doing away with sedition laws. And you're talking about a far stringent strengthening of the Sedition Act, the sedition laws. What you're calling for is very different from what's happening across the world, sir.
No, if you are romanticizing with some of the Western countries, it's your wish. We are a different country. We are living in a free democratic country. We have our own sentiments. The far leftist group, they celebrate every time an Indian soldier is killed they celebrate whenever there is any inflict on the India's national interest. They will say that Afzal Guru's judicial pronouncement is a murder. They will say that there should be a freedom for Bastar, there should be freedom for the people of Kashmir. Freedom from what they should define? I don't understand that these far leftist people, when they celebrate the moment every security force member is murdered, what do you say about them? So this is a battle between the far leftists and the nationalists. People of this country will decide which ideology suits India better for a prosperous and strong India. Let the people of India decide. There should be no violence. This is an ideological battle. I would like to urge one more thing. The Congress party is an ideological less political party, so they should not come into this discussion. This particular debate which you all have picked up is a battle, ideological battle between the far leftists and the nationalists. Let it be put before the nation, but there should be no violence. It is an ideological battle. Discuss, debate or dissent. Let people of India decide.
Sure, I accept that. But I also have a couple of more questions. So it's been more than a year since Love Affair JNU, which started off this whole debate around patriotism. So far, no charge sheet has been filed by the Delhi government. Last evening, we had a story by a colleague, Arvind Oja, who spoke to the officers investigating the JNU case. And they say that the Delhi police in its investigation so far has found no evidence that Kanhaiya Kumar himself raised anti-national slogans and that he may not be charged under sedition. Omar Khalid may be, Anirban Bhattacharya may be, but Kanhaiya Kumar may not be. Now the question is, over the last year, several people have pilloried Kanhaiya Kumar, labelled him a traitor. Now suddenly the probe finds that there is no evidence of sedition against him. So that's the fear, that you have this grand trial play out in public perception, in the public's eye, whereas the reality is when the police sets down looking at investigation, they don't find any strong evidence against him.
So what do I do there? Do you mean to say that the ministers should be in charge of the investigation? This is the job of the investigating agencies. Let the police do their job. In any case, there is no 100% conviction rate in India. For any case, some people get acquittal, some people get conviction. This is part of the proceedings in Indian law. So I can't comment on how Delhi police should particularly follow in terms of its investigating method. That is not a job of a minister to comment on that. What I'm saying is the sedition law is little vague in India. So the police must be taking some time to ensure that the charge sheet are framed in a particular way so that it stands before the court of law. So I don't have anything
it's
to
true,
offer
what you're
here
saying is correct, but it's not just the charge sheet in court. No, it's not just the charge sheet in court. There's also a public battle. The man has been branded a traitor. He's been called all manner of names. Now suddenly the police, which you oversee, incidentally as Minister of State for Home, is unable to explain why that sedition charge was levelled against him. So you've labelled somebody, tarnished his image, and in the end there is no evidence against him.
I am very clear. I am very clear. Law is dependent on how you follow the rules, and conviction is dependent on how the investigating agencies carry out the case, and conviction is dependent on how the courts pronounce the judgment. I have nothing to offer here, but as a citizen of this country, for me one thing is very clear. Anybody who supports Afzal Guru, anybody who supports any terrorist organization, anybody who supports the separatists is anti-India. It's very clear, and whether you agree or disagree, that is your freedom. For me, I come from a border area. My village was under the Chinese occupation for 1 week. Tawang district was under the Chinese occupation for 1 month during 1962 aggression. These people, these far leftist people, they supported China at that time. Now also they celebrate the killings of Indian security forces. For me, anybody who speaks to break up India, anybody who supports terrorist organization is an anti-national and anti-India. It's very clear. I have been brought up in a particular manner, in a particular atmosphere, in a particular ambience. I have this ideology, I have this commitment. Whether you agree or not, this is my thinking.
No, but is the government also planning, Minister, to bring a new law on sedition, to bring a new draft which will be debated in Parliament? The budget session is around the corner. If this is as big an issue as you are saying it is, then the government should really bring a new law which defines sedition the way that you'd like it to be defined. Is that a move that is currently underway?
I have already stated in the Parliament that government is looking into the matter, and if more clarity is to be brought into this sedition definition, definitely government is looking into it. But we have to consult the Law Commission, we have to consult other related ministries. I cannot comment right now before you whether we are going to bring it into next Parliament session or next to next. I can't comment in that. But in the Parliament, from the government side, when I was answering to the question, I have clearly stated that better clarity in terms of definition of sedition is required. But I cannot commit on how much and how soon government is going to take action on that regard. I cannot comment now.
It's important. The Minister of State for Home Affairs, Kiren Rijiju, saying at some point in time, a new bill will be brought about which he believes will more clearly define what constitutes a seditious activity. We don't want to take sides. You've heard the minister. The questions that needed to be asked have been asked of him. You've heard his responses. We'll leave it to our viewers to decide what they make of the Modi government's view. Kiren Rijiju, Minister of State for Home Affairs, for joining us on India Today this evening. Thank you very much, sir.